All right. So what I'm going to do real quick is show how to run a CMA, also known as a comparative market analysis here. And typically there's two things to look at when you're running a CMA. There are, comps, which are comparables, and then there are comps, which are competition. And so obviously your competition is going to be your active listings, which I also refer to as la la land or fantasy land for sellers, because typically, agents do not price the home where it should be priced for the market. They price it where their clients want them to. And there's nothing wrong with doing what your client wants you to do for them, but it's important that you educate them. And 9 times out of 10, or even more so, you can get the client to list where it's smart for them to list given the market scenarios, and there's ways to compromise. So we're not going to get into all that in this video, but what I want to do real quick is just cover some real quick how to, in terms of how to run the comp. So this is going to be for a specific neighborhood. This is going to be Kingdom Heights. So I'm going to show you guys something real quick. HBIGHCS. And as you see, 30, we're going to go ahead and go to sold. So there's 30 active. In terms of sold, last 180 days. We're going to go to the last 90 days. And there is 44 listings in Kingdom Heights. Now, we're going to make sure that that is all in Kingdom Heights in my particular area, which is Richmond. So I'm sure that it is, but let's just double check. And Kingdom Heights, Richmond. So obviously this is it. So what I'm going to do is I will use this nice little address here and go back to criteria. This is just a little thing that I do because sometimes what I want to share with you is when you click subdivision for Kingdom Heights or master plan community Kingdom Heights, sometimes there are things that the way that the property was listed by the listing agent, or maybe their staff, their transaction coordinator, or whoever it is that they hire in their team to actually list the property on HAR or MLS, they sometimes don't show up. So I'm going to show you guys a little trick, what I always do to make sure, for sure, that I get all the properties. So look, if I go, 5 miles out, or we just go 4 miles out, clearly the neighborhood, this particular neighborhood, I know for a fact is not 4 miles long or 4 miles wide. That may be a little too much because that gave us way too many properties. Now we got 205 matches. Okay, so that's 3 miles. So I know that this property is not. So I'm just going to go agent single line here. I'm going to say 100 properties per page. Clearly we have 205. And this thing that I'm going to do on subdivision, I'm going to click on subdivision. And I am going to, look, you got Crystal Lake Estates, you got all these different things. So what I'm going to do is I am going to click on every single property. And again, you notice here, Kingdom Heights, Kingdom Heights, Kingdom Heights. Some of these are active. These first ones are going to be active, and then you'll probably have some pendings, and then we'll have some sold because that is how I requested. Now, this may seem a little like a roundabout way, but this is the only surefire way that I have found to circumvent agents that do exactly like we're seeing right now. If you look right here, Kingdom Heights, Section 1, Kingdom Heights. So if I didn't put in the little asterisk before Kingdom Heights or the asterisk after, some of these might not show up based upon how I actually search for the property. So this is how I ensure that I'm getting all of the data, or all the data for this. Now look, you see here, I'll just go night and white. These are the people who listed the property. I don't know, that's typically, see, like right here, night and white. That is not, that is a name of a company, I believe. And you look at these, so I am pretty sure we're going to look at it here in a minute. But this is River Forest. So obviously these are not Kingdom Heights. So right here, Fort Bend County, North Richmond. This is Berkshire Hathaway. This is, let's look here. Let's see what they labeled it. Heritage, Richmond, Fort Bend County, Market Area, North Richmond, Subdivision, Knight and White. So that must be the developer. Legal description is Knight and White. So, okay, that is actually I've never heard of that development before. So there you go. So anyway, so I'm going to go back to agent single line. That will bring me back to where I was. And I've got all of the Kingdom Heights selected. And so now to run the CMA, I'm going to go right here and click Quick CMA. And guess what that does? That is going to get me a total of, let's see, 8 sold properties and 44 listings. So you got 8 sold. You've got 2 that it looks like are pending. So that's 10. 4 are pending, continue to show. So that's 14. And then 30. So that equals 44. So if you go here and look, these are all of the comparisons and the competition that are active right now. So that's how you run it. And you could, of course, go and, you know, scrub this. I'm going to type in here, Kingdom Heights CMA sold comps. So sold and comps. Okay. So I'm going to click save. And there we go. So that is how you do that. Now you can pull it back up. As you see here, let's do something here. So we know it's the number is 44, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this off. And let's see. We're going to do Kingdom Heights. Okay, now that also shows 44. So that kind of gives us confirmation that we actually did do it the right way. And also lets us know that, okay, it's at least working correctly. What you'll find sometimes is that you went and selected a certain amount of properties, but this might say 42. So you're missing 2, and it might be because you need to put an asterisk in front or an asterisk, you know, behind. And so this is, I'm telling it to say Kingdom Heights. Hang on. So if you notice when I do this, it changes this number over here. Hang on. When I had just an asterisk in the front, it changed the number because it somehow creates a different criteria when there's an asterisk in front. I forget what it is. It's, yeah, this explains it right there, all of that verbiage. But anyway, so you get the point. Use the exclamation point to exclude a certain value. Short sale will exclude in listings. Yeah, anyway. So that is how you run a comp or CMA.